Ladies and gentlemen, aloha. My name is Devin Hampton. I am the spokesperson for the Pivot Tablers. We're going to be talking today about nothing other than pivot tables. Now, pivot tables are regarded as one of, if not the most powerful tool in Excel. No other tool gives you the flexibility and analytical power of a pivot table. This video is designed to review, very basically, the power of a pivot table to help you go from beginner to intermediate, if not advanced, Excel user. So we have a situation here that we work for a company called Shorts Pharmacy, a tough competitor of Long's Pharmacy here in Hawaii. We are deciding if we should carry a new line of vitamins for women 30 and over. If we have over 350 active customers who would use this vitamin, we will start the program on pilot in Honolulu. So the manager has a really good friendship with Jim, who works in the IT department. And Jim claims that we have 489 active customers who meet the women 30 and over and live in Honolulu criteria, and he insists that we carry the vitamins. But thankfully, the manager has come to us and asked us to verify his claim. So the manager gave us the customer list and said, have at it. The pivot tables are in the top left-hand corner under the Insert tab, and all we do is click a cell inside of the data, and then we click Pivot Tables, and it'll automatically create the pivot table for us in a separate sheet. Pivot tables are unique because we can manipulate all of the data without actually manipulating any of the data on the original sheet. So what we're trying to do is we're looking for women over the age of 30 and over who live in Honolulu, and we want to see if they are over 350 and if Jim is correct or not. So we're going to use the filters section of the pivot table fields. And there's a bunch of, there's 4 different areas that we are in charge of to be able to create the pivot table that we want to. And the filters section of the pivot table is what we're going to be focusing on. So we're looking for men and women. We're looking for women. We're going to rule out the men. We're going to look for if they live in Honolulu. And we also want to manipulate their age. And one thing unique about this problem is we're looking for active customers. Now, our customers list, the far column of the customer list has their most recent purchase, and it looks like we have a bunch of different most recent purchase dates. And active per this problem is described as a customer who's made a purchase within the last 4 quarters. So we're also going to need their most recent purchase. When we click it, it automatically sends it to the rows. And what's cool about pivot tables is sometimes it'll automatically separate it into years and quarters. And what we're going to do is we're going to throw the years into columns so that we can start to count up by column and by quarter, or by year and by quarter, the different purchases that women over the age of 30 or 30 and over who've made in the city of Honolulu. So we're going to start with the filters. We're going to start using them. And we're going to select females who live in Honolulu that are 30 and over. We're going to select multiple, and we want to unselect anything under 30. And I'm going to pause the video and then continue after I've done that. Alright, so we've just finished unselecting all of the ages under 30 because the vitamins are targeted for women over 30. And once we do that, so we have the filters set up. What we need to do to be able to start filling the table in with information is we need to count. So we can use names or ID. We're just going to use ID, and we're going to throw it into the values section, and it automatically suggests count. We can throw in the sum, the average, the max, the min, but because these are identification numbers, counting them is the most logical. So after we do that, we have the pivot table that we need to be able to take to our manager and explain to him how many customers we actually do have that are active. So if we look here, the past 4 quarters, and we haven't finished quarter 1 of 2018, so we also include that, but quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 of 2017 and quarter 1 of 2018, it looks like we don't have what Jim says. Jim said that we had 489 active customers, and it actually looks like Jim was looking at the total number of women who live in Honolulu who are 30 or older, rather than looking at just the number of women who live in Honolulu 30 and over who have made purchases within the last 4 quarters. So we know that if we just sum up 251 and 15, it looks like we only have 266 active customers rather than the claimed 489. So we can take this back we can show this table to our manager and say it's not a good idea because we were looking to see if we had over 350 active customers, and we don't. We only have 266. So this is just a short example of how useful pivot tables can be. Putting in each of the different fields, names, streets, zip codes. We could put zip codes here, and we could, instead of cities, or we can do men and women instead of just women. This is just a small example of how powerful pivot tables can be in helping us show that the accounting department is definitely more powerful than the IT department in any company.